A growing fight underway in Liberty and Bryan counties over a plan to discharge millions of gallons of treated wastewater into the Laurelview River area. Now, in a major development, the Liberty County Development Authority tells WSAV it is considering other possible locations, something opponents of the project have been pushing for. WSAV's Nakaya Harris has the latest from Liberty County.
Can economic growth and environmental protection coexist? That's the question at the center of a growing debate in Liberty County.
If we mess up the water, that's it.
Save the Laurelview River. That's what community members in Liberty County are saying after hearing news that a decades-old wastewater treatment plant project is back on the table. Dan Scott has lived on Isle of Light since 1990. He says he didn't think he would have to deal with this again.
Something that I thought was gone forever, and it would never be keeping me awake at night, and it's there again.
County leaders say the project is needed to meet growing demand in the eastern part of the county, and at full build-out could treat up to 3 million gallons per day over the next 20 to 30 years, with treated water discharged into the Laurelview River. Susan Inman with the coastal nonprofit 100 Miles points to years of development pressure along this stretch.
There's a developer that's been trying to develop this area for years now.
We're told advanced technology would treat the wastewater to near drinking water quality, but concerns remain about how it might impact the marshes and coastal environment. CEO of the Liberty County Development Authority, Bryn Grant, says the Environmental Protection Division found there would be minimal impact to the river and tidal basin.
We're really concerned because the data they're using is from 2009 and 2010.
We met with EPD proactively in February to say, you did this study in 2009-10. What is your position with regard to it? And they said the results will not be different.
Grant tells WSAV protecting the environment remains a priority while balancing growth.
But also, at that point, is Liberty County growing outside their means?
We will have development. We're in a sparsely developed area, and people are coming here. How we get that done will tell what we're about.
We have learned the Liberty County Development Authority is considering other discharge options, including the North Newport River, after the closure of the International Paper Mill in Riceboro, something some petitioners say they support. The county's full statement will be on our website. Nakaya Harris, WSAV News 3, on your side.
New at 6, one person is dead and multiple others are hurt after a side-by-side crash in Bacon County. The Georgia State Patrol says it happened Tuesday night just before 7:20 on Caraway Road. Investigators say a UTV was traveling east with 7 people on board, 4 children and 3 adults, when it ran off the road during a sharp turn, flipped, and hit a tree. 2 adults were airlifted and a 3rd adult was transported to the Bacon County Hospital, where he later died. One of the 4 juveniles suffered minor injuries. The Georgia State Patrol's Specialized Collision Reconstruction Team is now leading the investigation. WSAV has confirmed that a Savannah native and NFL player, Nolan Smith, was arrested on reckless driving charges. According to the Twiggs County Sheriff's Office, Smith was clocked driving 135 miles per hour in a 70-mile-per-hour zone on Friday, May 15th. Deputies say they initiated a traffic stop and took him into custody without incident. Smith is a former University of Georgia standout. He was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles in 2023. In the Low Country, a brush fire in Burton continues to cause concern days after it first broke out, with fire crews repeatedly returning to the area to put out hotspots. The Burton Fire District says the fire started Sunday on Angel Lane in a wooded area just feet from a home. Firefighters arrived to find about a half acre of brush burning near a tree line, and they were able to bring the flames under control, but officials say it did not stay out. Crews were called back Monday morning when hotspots began smoldering again and returned later that afternoon and today as the fire reignited. Officials say the fire is believed to have been caused by a discarded cigarette. WSAV is your local election headquarters. We are following developments out of South Carolina where lawmakers are moving quickly on a controversial redistricting plan. The bill would rework district lines currently held by Democratic Congressman Jim Clyburn, who represents South Carolina's only Democratic seat in Congress. Under the proposal, District 6 would be split up as part of a broader redistricting push. Lawmakers say the move comes in the wake of a U.S. Supreme Court decision that changed how states can consider race in drawing electoral maps. Georgia's primary election is officially won for the record books, and now election officials and advocacy groups are turning their focus to what comes next, the runoff. Several high-profile races, including the Republican governor's race and the U.S. Senate contest, are now headed to a runoff on June 16th. Now, one statewide coalition is urging voters not to stay home the second time around. May Matters is a group made up of more than 250 leaders across the state. They say it is working to boost turnout and keep voters engaged in the runoff process.
It is really easy to vote in Georgia. We have multiple days of early voting, multiple locations all over Chatham County. And then, of course, on Election Day, plenty of polling places open across the county as well. So I think that the access is there. It's just we need the interest and we need the excitement and frankly, we need the understanding of how important these elections are.
You can access the free Georgia Matters Nonpartisan Toolkit at wsav.com/electionhq. Students in Bullitt County are getting a new tool in the classroom, generative AI. The district has now rolled out 2 programs for high schoolers, and educators say it's already changing how lessons are taught and assignments are built. WSAV's Evan Smoke explains.
Here at Southeast Bullock High School, one social studies teacher tells me that Gen AI is not only changing her lesson plans, but also her assignments.
In March of this year, Bullock County Schools introduced 2 generative AI tools to high school students in the district. One of the leading teachers in the movement has Ashley Wright, who says the tools have not only helped her students prepare for final exams, but also herself in her lesson planning.
One of my favorite ways I've found to use AI is actually to create no-tech activities. So, for example, using board games. I can take board games that I already own and use AI to help me create content review games based on the content that we've been teaching. But
Bullock County Schools tells me that they're looking to expand the tools to middle grades in the future. Reporting in Brooklet, Evan Smoke, WSAV News 3, on your side.
The Georgia Ports Authority is expanding its reach across the state with the opening of a new inland port in Gainesville. The Gainesville Inland Port officially opening for business earlier this month, with crews already moving containers by train and truck since May 4th. The new facility provides direct rail access between Northeast Georgia and the Port of Savannah, giving more than 300 manufacturers in the region a faster connection to global markets. Once fully complete, the facility will be able to handle up to 200,000 containers each year. Our military report now. The Savannah Area Chamber hosting its 3rd annual Clay Shoot, bringing together business leaders, community members, and service members to raise money for military advocacy efforts in Washington, D.C. WSAV's Sarah Smith was there.
21 teams made of business owners, community members, and servicemen and women came together for some friendly competition. The Clay Shoot, held by the Savannah Area Chamber of Commerce, raises money for the Military Affairs Council to send representatives from our area to Washington, D.C. to advocate for our men and women in uniform.
We've got to have somebody up there watching the budget, watching what the Pentagon and what Congress is doing, and making sure these missions are protected, making sure we're having investment into our bases so that our soldiers are trained, they're fully equipped, and they're ready to deploy if that's necessary and go and defend our country.
Burt Brantley with the Chamber says they invest in military resources and facilities.
A couple years ago, we had a budget that came out that zeroed out the Combat Readiness Training Center out at our airport that our Air National Guard uses to train people from all over the country. And so we had to activate that Military Affairs Council. They got together. We were able to save that money in that facility. And actually, we've had new investment go in out there since then.
Brantley says one of the issues they're most concerned about lobbying for at Fort Stewart and Hunter Army Airfield is quality base housing.
It's not just here, but across the country, a lot of that housing has gotten older and needs repair. And it's really expensive, and we understand, and you want to be good use of tax dollars. I can't imagine a better use of tax dollars than to make sure that our soldiers and their families have a good quality housing.
Aiming to hit the target and aiming to support our military. Sarah Smith, WSAV News 3, on your side.
New at 6, a historic Beaufort Park is getting new life and a new way to tell its story. In Beaufort's northwest quadrant, Washington Street Park is now fully reopened after a major renovation project that includes a performance pavilion, basketball half court, and a new playground and restrooms. But city leaders say the most important addition may be the historic marker, honoring the site's deep roots in the community. The park dates back to the 1940s when African American residents donated land to create what was called the Beaufort County Negro Recreational Center, at the time the only park in the city for black families and children. City officials say the renovated park is now open and available for the entire community to enjoy.